So as you know, I don't make these sort of videos often, but I think it needs to be addressed. I'm a Bournemouth fan. I have been for a while since we were in the Championship before our very first promotion to the top flight. Um, I'm a bit sick, by the way, so sorry if everything's a bit of a mess. But yeah, I've been a Bournemouth fan since I started really following association football. And we've had our ups and we've had our downs, and I've loved a lot of the journey. I've hated a lot of the journey, but I've always supported the boys. But yesterday against Liverpool, we tied the record for the heaviest Premier League defeat ever. It has been done by Manchester United, who defeated Ipswich 9-0 back in the 90s, I believe. And then in back-to-back seasons by Southampton, who lost 9-0 to Leicester and then 9-0 to Manchester United, which is just frankly funny. But that was always something I could sort of use against Southampton because I obviously don't like Southampton very much. And now we've gone and done it. We've gone and done it ourselves. 9-0. I stayed up until about 2 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time watching that shit. I am just in awe at how freaking poor that was. You know? We've never been embarrassed like that in the Prem. We've had some pretty bad results here and there, but we've never had like a shocker. That's a shocker. I don't want to take anything away from Liverpool. They played really well. They were clinical. There's just a lot to be said about Liverpool. They absolutely outplayed us, but they didn't outplay us in the sense that they were just like, it's the best performance of all time. We've never ever seen anything like it. They put 9 past us, deservedly so, but in saying that, we made it so easy for them. I have seen some Bournemouth fans on social media and what have you basically saying, oh, we've lost to Man City and Arsenal and now we have Liverpool in the fixtures and stuff, and it's poor timing. We've got 3 out of the 4 first games against the top 6 sides in the Premier League, and it's just, it's abysmal. It's just nothing we can do. 9-0. Mate, we have lost 16-0 on aggregate over 3 games. I do not give a shit who you're playing. If it's freaking Bayern Munich 3 games in a row, you do not lose 16-0 as a Premier League team. That is shocking. I've looked into it. Of course, I follow the team. I'm a massive Bournemouth fan. There is nothing at fault for this defeat apart from the players on the pitch for Afc Bournemouth. Yes, the game wasn't managed particularly well. And yes, Liverpool played very, very good football. Harvey Elliott, by the way, man, I can see why Liverpool fans talk so much about this guy, because people that don't watch Harvey Elliott need to watch him. He is a freaking phenomenon. He is a gem of a player. Not just because he scored. He was immense last night. He was immense. Anyway, on to the point. The players on the pitch were just flat. They were not motivated whatsoever. They didn't move into space. I don't think we stringed more than 5 passes together. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but I genuinely don't think I'm actually that far off. We could not string any freaking moves together at all. We had like 5 shots the whole game or something like that, probably even less. I don't care how many shots we had. None of them were legitimate chances. We never once looked threatening on attack, and we never once looked secure at all at the back. On paper, we have by far and away the worst defence in the league. That defence should not be conceding 9 in any given match to any given team on the planet. I wasn't expecting to walk away from Anfield with any sort of result. I wouldn't have even been surprised if we lost like 5 or 6-0, but 9-0. You know, when Southampton lost their 2 games 9-0, there's no excuse for it, but they had that 10 men argument. Oh, we went down to 10 men, we got a red card in both games. We didn't even have less players. We had 11 players on the pitch against an injury-ridden Liverpool team. Still a much better squad than us. The whole injury thing at Liverpool right now is a little exaggerated by the press. They do have a lot of key players out. If they had those players back, would they have gone into double digits for the first time in PL history? Probably. As Scotty P said, we focused a lot of our attention on Mohamed Salah, which is fine. Mohamed Salah, to me, is the best player in the Premier League. You know, you have to shut down players like De Bruyne, Son, Haaland, Kane. You have to put twice as much force on Mohamed Salah. This guy is the most potent player in world football, bar Lewandowski. He is the best player in world football, bar Lewandowski and Messi. He's just an animal. And defending him, it's a nightmare for any defence. But we forgot that they have 10 other players on the pitch. 9 other outfielders that are very competent in scoring, as seen last night when they were 1 goal away from breaking double digits. It's such one-dimensional mentality. You're not going to win any football matches by playing like that. If Salah goes through and scores a hat-trick, he scores a hat-trick. But if you're playing more evenly distributed, not even evenly, just normally distributed defense, you're going to concede 4 or 5 because Salah's just an animal. But Salah didn't even score last night. Okay, yeah, we kept a clean sheet against Mohamed Salah. Round of applause. You conceded 9 to the rest of the team. I'm bloody fed up. I'm absolutely fuming. The 3-0 to Arsenal, the 4-0 to City, you can just gloss over them because we were never going to get anything more out of them games. 9-0 to a winless team in the Premier League is freaking shameful. And I stayed up to watch that game. I'm on the other side of the planet. Again, it was past midnight for me. I am literally half a week out of my exams. And I stayed up to watch the boys. Just not even in hope of getting a result. Obviously, I was hoping we'd get a result, but not in anticipation of getting a result. But just to support the guys. You know, sentimentally. And it resulted in nothing. We got battered. 9-0. The 4th time that Premier League scoreline has been, played out. And it's just, it's crazy. Like, the players, I'll go back to them, they look so unmotivated. They look so flat. They looked like they just didn't care. After the 2nd and the 3rd goal went in, we just didn't have any spirit left. We didn't have any heart left. We didn't have just any structure. We just had literally nothing except for an open backline. I know that this isn't a very constructive video, but I just wanted to talk about the fact that we lost 9-0 to Liverpool. Again, I want to give a lot of credit to Liverpool. Players like Harvey Elliott and Alexander-Arnold were phenomenal. But I am more concerned about the fact that we literally just invited them to score 9. They had a really, really good conversion rate, right? They were very prolific, very clinical, like I said. But they had over 70% possession by a mile. They never looked like conceding. They never looked like they were gonna not get a result out of the game or whatever. And I just don't understand how we put ourselves in that position. I think this result will relegate us. At the start of the season, I was thinking that we would narrowly avoid relegation. I was being optimistic. For those of you who know me, you know I'm not a very optimistic person. And then this season, I actually predicted us with the weakest Prem team, like in terms of a roster or a squad, in the whole league by far, by quite a distance. I predicted us to stay up. This 9-0 is one bad result. It's not, though. We've had a bad run of fixtures and therefore a bad run of form. 16-0 on aggregate over 3 games. If we go on to lose every game against the top 6 and get battered 4 or 5-0, freaking 9-0 every game, but we get points against the lower teams, so be it. But I think these games are going to hinder our confidence so much going into games that we've got coming up. I think we've got Wolves next. We're not going to get points. We're not going to get points. We could easily finish rock bottom. 19th if we're freaking lucky. I can't see us staying up this season. Purely because these 3 games where we have lost 16-0 on aggregate are going to just demolish every ounce of confidence we had after that 2-0 win against Villa, which was, again, a very important win. And I'm not too angry, like it would have been nice, but I'm not too angry that we haven't got any points out of these last 3 fixtures against all top 6 opposition, top 4 opposition at this point. But 16-0? 9-0 against Liverpool. So bad. That Carvalho kid was good as well. Liverpool have a very good squad. They clearly have a lot of depth, which is what they've been missing a fair bit of, back a couple years. So it's good to see that they've got some squad depth, and I like Liverpool. I don't mind them. I think they'll do well. This season, I know they've had a bit of a rough start, but this 9-0 is huge for their confidence. It pissed me off a little bit to see them celebrating like they scored a Champions League final winning goal when they put like their 7th, their 8th, their 9th past us. Not really a need for that. Because it's not like you just won the game. You had won the game as soon as the fixture was announced. So maybe that's just me being salty. I don't know. But that did not sit well with me. I didn't really appreciate that. I don't really have anything else to say. I just want to sort of rant my feelings about it. I'm just in disbelief that we lost 9-0. And I do think we will have a downward spiral for not just the games to come, but for the remainder of the season. I just cannot see us stringing together a massive win streak, and if we're going to do it, it's going to be like we did in 2020, where we do it at the end and play freaking awesome football, and it doesn't mean shit because we go down anyway. I will not be taking our time in the Prem for granted, because I felt like I did that, a couple years ago. I felt like I just didn't. I watched him quite a lot, pretty much every weekend when it was an appropriate time. Over here in Australia, but I felt like I didn't enjoy them 4-0 wins at Vicarage Roads, 3-0 win at Craven Cottage, 5-0 win at the Amex, 4-0 win against Chelsea, other wins against Chelsea and Man United, and just the comeback win against Liverpool. Just all these awesome moments that we did have in our first stint in the Prem that lasted a surprising amount of time, and now we're finally back there, and we have started shockingly. We got that win against Villa, which was unexpected. We were expected to get smashed that game as well. We won that. That was great. And I'm not saying, it doesn't mean anything if you don't back it up, because we weren't expected to back it up with these next 3 fixtures results from them, whatever. But we have to kick on. We have to keep our heads up. But we just lost 9-0. Southampton did not capitulate with either of their 9-0 losses. They're still in the Premier League after both of them. But it's such a different situation over there. Southampton are such a different club with such a different team under such different management than AFC Bournemouth. And I'm very nervous for our club's future. I'm very, very nervous.